What's up, print fam? Can y'all hear me? I'm gonna have to figure out how to load my own live so I can see if it's working. That is the wrong button. But it's working. Is it working? It sounds like it's working. Thought I'd jump on, had a little bit of time, answer some questions. What's up, German Formula? Andy, nice to see you. Bobo, what's up? You guys have any questions? Anything I can answer for you? Any updates on your guys' end? See if we can post this link in the Facebook group. What's up, Rob? I clicked the wrong button. What's up, Neil? Rob, what's going on with your printer? I'm gonna have myself a snack. Jimmy John stopped by, dropped us off some chips and cookies. I was a little disappointed because I thought they'd have some sandwiches for us too, but so German Formula asks if I mark the bottom of my tumblers with my contact information. If not, why not? I do not, and I don't want to. Typically, it's kind of my same mentality of like sponsoring a like a playbill or doing a banner for a high school sports team. It's just not my target market. People like, are there going to be business owners there or marketing managers or things like that? Potentially, but I would rather spend that same amount of money specifically targeting those customers. So for me, putting my information on the bottom, I've thought about it. I've definitely considered it, but I just don't want to spend the extra time, add the cost. Like I could bring them in with it, but I like to offer them to other print shops, and so that would make it harder to be able to sell them to other print shops if they've got my information on it. So yeah, that's why. It's kind of like just like Penn City. Nothing comes from Penn City branded because again, like why spend the money on the mailing when going through the post office could I potentially get someone? Yeah, but in reality, I'd rather spend the money targeting someone. Any other questions? If you could hit the thumbs up button, it helps. Ask your questions away. We'll probably live stream for 30 or so minutes, depending on the questions you guys have. What have you guys watched the new videos? What do you think of the editing versus just basic before? Anything you guys are working on? So Bobo asks, how's my business? And that is a very good question. I don't know. It also depends on by what means you're asking that business or that question. Am I making money? Yes. Am I happy? Most of the time. Am I unsure what I'm doing everything for? Yes. Do I feel like quitting some days? Yes. Do I feel like selling some days? Yes. Do I feel like getting rid of a bunch of stuff? Yes. I'm all over the place, but I haven't given up. That's the key. I haven't given up. Any other questions? Happy to answer, happy to help, happy to give my 2 cents anyway. It's gonna be a boring live stream if you guys don't ask questions. You guys can just listen to me eat the cookie. Okay, at least tell me this. What is your current soda beverage drink of choice? I really enjoy Coke Zero. I like Coke Zero with a vanilla. I also like regular Coke Zero. Robert asks my opinion of the Roland large format printers versus latex. For me, the reason I went with latex in the first place, it's almost been 5 years, a little over 5 years that I've had my HP latex. The reason I went with latex is I was brand new to this. I didn't know how often I'd be printing, and in reality, I probably print a lot less than most people think. And with the HP latex, you have some leeway. You don't have to print all the time. It self-maintains itself. It cleans itself. It has a maintenance cartridge that does everything. That was a huge draw for me. Now, if today I was buying like a 700 or 800, they're having lots of problems. I probably wouldn't buy one. Matter of fact, I'm not going to buy one. There's a couple of machines that I'm toying with of what I want to get, but um, Roland makes a great machine. They've got, I believe, UV versions as well as eco solvent. You can get better color gamut, you can different type of finishes. So it kind of depends on what you're going for. Um, so it's not fair to just say how do you like Roland or Epson or HP. It really depends on what you want to do. So they're both great machines, but it again depends on kind of what you're trying to accomplish. Millab, thanks for the super chat or donation or whatever YouTube calls them these days. I really appreciate it. Robert says his drink of choice is Diet Pepsi. Matthew asks, what's the ETA on your new lasers? I'm excited to see them go in. I was also hoping, it's also helping me not buy one by watching others get one. So for those that don't know, I have 3 lasers on the way. I have a new pen laser and then 2 new tumbler lasers. I was scared into buying 2 new tumbler lasers because the first tumbler laser just stopped working and we had sold thousands of tumblers, and luckily I was able to get it fixed. But I figured I need redundancy, plus I like to be able to have everything just set up and ready to go. I have 4 tumblers that I'm going to keep on hand, and those are the only 4 that I'm going to offer. So I wanted to make it really simple to be able to do them all. So the 3 lasers are going to be set up to do their specific tumbler, and the one that I have now will be the one for my 20 and 30 ounce tumblers because I use or run those the least. And then it will also be set up to do the flat stuff, so journals, little wood projects, acrylic, things like that. So I'll have those 3. I'm still going to keep the gantry for now, but that might go away. But all of that to say, the 2 CO2 galvos just shipped, I think like 2 days ago officially. And then I got a notification from my guy today that they're loading the pen laser on the truck this weekend. So 25 to 45 days from now, I'll be getting them. And Trevor from the Facebook group is going to come help me move my Konica. He's the one. I have 4 Konicas in the background. I picked those up locally for free for him. So he's going to come get those, help me move my Konica so we can move the lasers here, and everything in the shop's moving again. So it's all about being efficient and trying to squeeze as much out of the space that I can and be as efficient and effective as possible. So Bobo says he has more questions, but he's driving. So be safe, and I'll be here for at least a little bit. It's great to see you, Neil. You're probably already gone. Always good to see you. Scotty, how do you feel about the fiber laser? How do you feel like a fiber laser would complement a woodworking business? Leaving it as broad as you can. Let's see. I think it's a great idea. You might be better suited for a CO2 laser rather than a fiber laser. Um, just because with the CO2 you have more capabilities to assist with wood products or wood finishes, unless you want to go the route of inlaying metal and different things. Um, but I think it's a great thing. Like my brother, who runs a full-time cabinet shop, he is considering getting a fiber laser just so that they can mark names on tools and different things around to just help with the business. Um, so they're great tools. But kind of like I was saying earlier with the like Roland versus latex, kind of depends on what you want to do. From my knowledge and experience with woodworking, I'd go with a CO2. Silva asks, in terms of sales, which works better for you, a salesperson or online marketing? For me personally, a salesperson works better, only because my business is not geared towards online sales. It's geared towards getting leads from online, but not um, finished product. So I'm trying to work on my Pen.City website, and I eventually hope to do ads and show you guys how I'm doing it and the process of everything, um, because that is kind of an online product. But for me, a salesperson typically can win. A lot of times, the customers that I want are not the type that would come upon the ads or be the person that would make that decision based off of an ad. Um, so I always prefer relationships. Alfredo asks, would I switch from latex to eco-solvent? Been thinking about the Roland VG3. I'm not against eco-solvent. They've got great color. They're faster in most cases. I'm not a huge fan of like the degas time because I pretty much print lam cut immediately. So I'd have to change processes sometimes. Um, but based off of my volume, it's probably not worth it for me. The two machines that I'm contemplating right now are the Epson resin printer or the Canon Arizona. Or not Arizona, I have the Arizona, the Canon Colorado. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't print enough. My machine doesn't run every day. If my machine ran every day, probably be fine, but I don't run every day. And I recorded a video today actually of explaining kind of why I'm handicapping my business. It's probably not the politically correct way to say it, but um, because I have so many pieces of equipment, I'm not able to focus my efforts on stuff. So that's, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think it again comes down to what you want. Millweb says he ordered the HP 800 and hoping Neil will be installing this one. I would be jealous. That would be a lot of fun. I've heard good things about the HP. Did you get white or no white? Um, I there's like I've heard good things about the HP 800, but I've also heard not so great things about the 7800 series. Um, Plus, frankly, it's content, and I know you guys want to see something different, so that's the other reason why I'm considering other machines. The Colorado is pricey, um, but I like that it has two um, media holders, and it's way faster. And I don't know, I like that it can do matte and gloss, and it just has some cool, quirky things that I kind of like. So I can't decide. In all reality, I'll probably end up going with Epson because of the price, really. A food head asks how toxic the UV printing ink is. Um, I know a lot of people don't like the smell, and some people ventilate it. I haven't seen any issues. Granted, my shop's pretty big and open. You can definitely tell when the printer is running. It's got the ink smell, um, but I'm not aware of anything specific. The HP latex, like if I was a banner shop, absolutely. HP latex all the way. It's really fast. It doesn't have odor, instant dry. Totally, if I was doing banners, I'd go the HP latex route. Foodhead, I know a bunch of people do have like UV printers in small offices. You probably want to have some sort of circulation or ventilation, but um, I'm not a good person to answer that. But I would probably have some sort of ventilation if it was a small room. Matthew, I never laminate banners ever. I don't. To me, banners are short-term use, and they should only be viable for a year or two at most. But I also I don't print most of my banners because I find it's cheaper to outsource. Yeah, so Matthew, some people they'll end up going UV because with certain UV printers, you can get away with not laminating, especially if you get one with varnish. Then you can actually not like they have as good a durability not laminated. So it might be something to consider. I know someone who's getting one for that specific reason, so they don't have to laminate. I'm not allowed to tell you the details, so I won't. All right, I was texting. Everyone's agreeing that don't laminate banners. And Millweb says that he felt that way too, and now it's second nature. I agree. Laminate, it is what it is. It's easy. If I was doing two different types of laminates, I would have two laminators, one for matte, one for glossy. But it's pretty simple. But my customers tend to like laminate not for the purpose of like protection, but the fact that it makes it a 6 mil sticker. Welcome back, Rob. Tell us about your HP 315 woes. Matthew, I am getting used to help. Um, like, I'm not gonna lie, today I was looking through jobs and I was like, what's this job? I have no idea what it is or any of the details because my assistant is just answering the phone, responding to messages, and it's a beautiful thing. So, being able to get work, like, in essence, the work that she's doing is paying for her. So, it hasn't felt like an added expense because she's doing the things that I was doing, but now I can do more. And she's actually going out of town tomorrow for a week. And it makes me really nervous. And she's like, don't worry, I'm still going to get on at night and I'll respond to emails and do stuff. But I was just like, no, you can't go on vacation. Like, I need you. So it's been really good. Salesperson, haven't really got up to speed yet. Um, I think it's mostly my fault. Um, but hopefully we can get him there, get him going. He's got some runway. So everything is still working towards that. So Rob, he's saying he's printing 20 8.5 by 11 photos. The first few come out fine. And then as the job prints, the photos start to come out fuzzy. Sounds like a print head issue. When the HP latex heads start to warm up, that's when you'll notice failed heads. They're typically fine until they heat up. So I would bet that you have some bad heads. I would look at that. Roderick is saying that he's got an HP 115 and needs to get more customers. What have you tried? What are you selling? And how hard are you working? That will help me give you some ideas. Yeah, I agree, Millweb. Totally should have two if you're going to do two different laminates. I don't even give my people a choice. It's matte. That's what I have. So, if you want glossy stickers, we don't laminate them because I buy glossy material and laminate it. No one really cares. I don't even ask. I just basically always laminate everything anyway now, sticker wise. The only time I don't do it is if I know for a fact that they're like sticking them on envelopes or doing something stupid that they're going to be thrown away or disposed of relatively quickly. If I have no idea what they're going on, then I definitely want to laminate them because it seems like the biggest trending thing right now is water bottles. So yeah, I don't even. Sometimes I'll talk to them and say, yeah, we can laminate them. I don't tell them it's matte. I don't tell them it's glossy. Like I think it's funny in the paper world too that they're, oh, I want glossy paper. And like I'll show them the paper that I have, which is satin. They're, oh, this is great. It's like, yes, it has a sheen to it, but it is not glossy. So it's interesting. People, a lot of times, people they don't know what they want and they've just heard things, and so it's just a matter of helping them. Adam asks if I ever feel like I ever overpurchase your equipment, like you have more than what you need. I literally, before I went live, recorded a video about this very thing. And yes, I my lack of focus is what's causing my business to not be as successful as I want. Because even if you look at the projects that we did today, we had some tumblers, we had some ACM, we had some foam, we had some paper products, and so we're just, if we only had lasers or only had large format, oh, we did stickers too, um, then it would make it way easy to focus, way easy to automate, way easy to make processes, to dial in the service offering. Do I like having it? Yes. Does it win me jobs? Yes. Does it pay for itself? Yes. But the fact that I'm so distracted with everything, I think I would have been better off to continue to outsource most of it and focus on one thing really heavily before I purchased the next thing. So it's like I've done really well with pens for that. The pens are mostly automated. It's got very little user interaction. I'm taking the next step with a pen laser to automate it even more. I should have just done that first with all of my equipment. But now I'm having to go back and retroactively go through and try to process, make processes for. So yes, I don't feel that way. Yep. I 100% agree, Adam. Being able to dial in your process and be super good at it, super like you become that person. Like you become the guy that is the go-to for that thing. Now, I still believe in having some diversity. So I still believe in like outsourcing products and doing certain things or having a second line that like once you've dialed in that process, create a second one. But yes, the fact that I am literally all over the place is what I think has hurt my business the most. Millweb, are you that guy I see on Instagram and TikTok all the time? You might be. Do you like kick boxes to your door? I might be thinking of someone else. I don't know. Paul, he is currently putting the most recent DNS purchase to use, printing a big banner. Very nice. What's up, Vixie? Awesome. This is a very niche market, CD duplication. But that's kind of cool. Best of luck with your endeavors. Start small, a focus. Well, kind of the beauty with focus too is you don't end up working as hard because it becomes second nature. It becomes simple. It becomes that process. It becomes so like mundane, can become mundane, but not like in a bad way. But that like you just you can do it, you can chat, you can have fun. You're just doing it every day. You don't have to think about it. Um, it makes it so that you have a lot of bandwidth when you can push it better. Um, Ink City, welcome. All right, Millweb, remind me your handle. I need to get me one of those wet tape dispensers. Weren't you doing yard signs for a while too? You're still doing that, or don't know why you watch my stuff. Your stuff's way more entertaining. Now I gotta pull up Instagram here. Millweb one. Oh man, I can't believe I don't even follow you. Followed. Oh, yeah, those are my favorite ones where you put excessive amounts of tape all over it. I think that's where I've seen you more is on TikTok. I think the first video I saw, I'm looking at your feed, was the My Neighbor's a Karen one. Good work. Here, I'll post. Everyone, go give him a follow. Here's his link. Can you hear my chip crunching? The one thing that I need more of is some sort of stock product. Because like I signed up for TikTok Shop because I figured out how to do it without 5,000 subscribers, but it's not really suited for custom products, which I was hoping to do pens on there, but you can put the option, but I really just need some stock products. Any other questions, people? Anything you want my opinion on? I don't know if I can call myself an expert. With TikTok Shop, can people just type in the text that they want? Because that's basically what I would do, is just let them pick their text. No one watches my TikToks though. I think my biggest one has like a couple hundred views, but I'm not very good at this type of stuff. Well, there are 16 of you, and none of you have questions. There should be at least one question. It looks like my highest viewed TikTok has 1,400. Here's my TikTok if anyone, my TikTok is being put in the chat if anyone wants to go follow along. So Silva asks or says the Konica and the Duplo haven't appeared in the videos lately. You continue to work with them, or large format more profitable? I run it when I get jobs, but I don't actively push jobs to it, which is part of the problem with having so much equipment. But I printed a couple things this week on it, some postcards, some wedding announcements, a couple things like that. But you'll start seeing it more. I'm trying to do better content. I don't know if you guys like. I'd love your guys' opinion of the last couple of videos with the different editing. If you liked it, didn't like it, I'm trying to make them better more concise, etc. So yeah. When do I go home? I try to leave by 6, so I'm going to leave at or before 6 today. So about 30 minutes. I do not, or so Ethan's crypto asks if I plan on doing screen printing. I do not. I never want to get into screen printing. It's too dirty, too much manual setup. I'm just going to continue to use a contract screen printer for that, or buy screen printer transfers. Um, Plan is to try to get the DTF up and running so we can start doing that, as well as selling transfers to you guys, so those that want to be able to get those at a good price. But yeah, for my business, it's way easier, way more affordable to just outsource the screen printing. My TikTok with the fainting goat. That one only has 149 views. So you probably got most of those views. If you guys want to see said TikTok, even though it's going to take you away from the stream, I posted it in the chat. Richard says that he's in Canada, mostly does pens. Most of his business is from Facebook Market. Tried giving out samples to local offices, but no one ever calls back. What am I doing wrong? Um, it just could be that it's not the right timing. I found that dropping off what I call spec samples or like printed samples with their information gets people more excited and makes them more willing to purchase. It could be what your offer is. It could be that they don't like the price. It could be that they don't like the color options. So it could be a few things, but I've personally found if you decorate it with their logo, then it works better. Frank, not much of an update yet on the new sales guy. Um, hasn't gotten any sales yet, but I think it's due to lack of coming in, lack of training, vacation, summertime. Assistant's working out great though. Um, really happy on that front, but I'll make sure I keep you guys up to date as more progresses with that. Screen printing can, so Ethan, who's really a sublimation guy, um, wants to know because he's thought about getting into screen printing. Um, it's not super complicated, and I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier about pick a product, pick a thing, get really good at that thing, and then move on to something else. So, like screen printing, I pay my screen printer a ton of money. I just dropped off $5,000 to him. We're doing some shirts and different things. It's all a shirt, but just different orders. But that's all they do. They just do screen printing. They're busy. They're 6 to 10 days out always, and they make good money. But that's all they do. They don't do anything else. So I think it just comes down to pick what you want to do, pick how you want to do it. And my screen printer has slowly grown. Like they had a manual, then they went to a manual and an auto, and then they went to two autos, not using really a manual at all. Now they've got an auto reclaim system. So slowly they're making their process and their things better, easier for them, and they're just honing in on it. So I think anything you want to do can be profitable. I just suggest making it a big focus before you give up. Try really hard instead of diversifying as much and as fast as I did. Cold calling for salespeople is always the way to get started. Warm calling is better, and the older you get as a salesperson, the more referrals and past business just continues to come in. So shift marketing is saying they want to get into pull-up banners, considering a roll-to-roll. Don't want to get into flatbeds. They can run pretty, like doing pull-up banners can run pretty fast. Your biggest bottleneck is actually going to be finishing, unless you get like a flatbed cutter. The finishing side of things is what's going to take you the most time, be the most labor intensive. The actual printing is going to be the easy part. Hardware, you're going to want to find a good vendor for hardware. For me, that's why it's not worth printing pull-up banners in-house, because the cost that I would pay for a piece of hardware versus outsourcing a banner completely is $10 difference. So to me, it's not worth it. I'd have to import hundreds or thousands of pull-up banners to make it worth it. But yeah, if you're running your ViewTech hybrids really well and you've got the system down, then you can definitely make it profitable. I can totally relate. I want lots of stuff too, and I'm doing my best to try not to spend money. Although my latest thing is I want to buy a little UV printer from China to tell you guys how awesome or bad it is. I think that would be fun. More so from the content perspective than actually using it and running it day to day, but I probably still would. I ran 1,000 sticker sheets over the last 2 days. I had the HP print all night, came in the morning, laminated the job, did other stuff all day, put the print on the print on the cutter before we left, let it cut all night. Beautiful thing. The machines just do their job unattended. Like, I love that. All right, we got a few more minutes before I gotta bounce. So if you have any more specific questions, let me know. Nick, thanks again for the donation. It's going to go to my Chinese UV printer fund. So sublimation guy asked, or said he asked in a previous video. I did not see it, or maybe I didn't answer it, or did answer it. Why do most people get clamshell heat presses for industrial purposes instead of swing away? I had a swing away, and honestly, I didn't like it as much. Mostly because the swing aways with auto open are super expensive, and mostly for me anyway, the swing away just would sometimes get in the way. You have to have more room for it. Um, I would bet that's probably why is the space requirement is greater. Um, but I like the clamshell better. I personally I like the stalls better, but I think I like it because it's a little bit taller because I bought the base for it. But Taylor loves the wallet press. Um, Previous to both of those, I had the stalls swing away 16 by 20, and the main reason I wanted to switch was the auto open. The auto open is so good. HTTW says he left printing and now does excavation. I have a buddy who was an excavator, and he retired at 40 because he made a lot of money, but he focused in the terrible jobs, as he called it. He was the guy that people would call at like 2, 3 in the morning when the water main under a city street broke, and he'd go into work for 24 hours straight, digging it up, letting people fix it, and putting it back together. Frankie, you said what is the highest volume? I am not sure what you mean. I appreciate that you enjoy watching, Frank. I don't have any plans as of right now, um, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's at Printing United. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to go, but I know he lives closer, so he might attend that one. But let me know. Should I go to Printing United this year? What do you guys think? The new kid's doing good. We had a little bit of a scare, but things are better now. He's 7 months old. Will be 7 months old in a couple days, and just happy little boy. He just good old. He's lots of fun to have. All right. Well, unless you guys have any last questions, I think it's time to call it. It's 5:45. I gotta turn stuff off and get home by 6. So I'll give you 1 or 2 more minutes to ask any questions, and then we'll call it. Always working hard. All right. Seems like everyone's ready. Thanks as always. If you have questions, you know where to find me.